Welcome back, everyone, to Halloween Haunts, 365.com, the podcast. I'm Jared.
Hi, I'm Terry.
Look, our names are right there.
Yeah. You're such a dork.
Today, we have a fun episode. We're going to be talking to the general manager of Night of Terror, as I completely screwed that up, but that's fine. Where is my thumbnail? There it is. So, this is going to be a fun interview. First, we got to talk to Jimmy J about the Friday the 13th Minicon, Blairstown, New Jersey, May 13th and 14th. Or
Yep.
May 12th and 13th.
No, May 13th and 14th. Friday
I've only said it
13th.
100 times. Friday, yeah. So, let's get to that video.
All right, heads, get ready for another killer Friday the 13th weekend in Blairstown at the iconic Blairstown Diner. For what? For the inaugural Friday the 13th Mini-Con, all hosted by yours truly and the Horror 365 team. I'm telling you, we just have an incredible lineup in store for each and every one of you. Signings and photo ops with various alumni from different Friday movies, screenings, Q&A sessions, a wedding vow renewal segment, a costume competition, hell, even a dinner with the alumni. Who does that? So, make mother proud and get your tickets now. F13minicon.eventbrite.com. That is F13minicon.eventbrite.com. Come on out for the only Friday the 13th of the year and be a part of the history in the making. We'll see you Friday the 13th.
Alright, that was Jimmy J with the Friday the 13th Minicon. Tonight we're going to talk to one of the big sponsors of that event, so I'm excited to talk to him about that. Before we start, we have Haunts opening, May 13th and 14th, Field the Screams.
Yes.
Let's check out that video real quick. Alright, and one last haunt opening before the start of this season. We have Brighton Asylum open May 14th only, for halfway to Halloween. Alright, so without further ado, let's introduce Brian, who is the general manager of Night of Terror.
Hello, all.
How are you? As soon as
Hi.
I bring you up on the screen here, we'll be good to go. There he is. How you doing today?
Very good.
Good. Having fun out here?
Always. It's always Halloween in this place.
That's right. That is right. All right. So now we're going to bring up some logos for you so it looks all proper like. Look at that. Look at that. All right. So we'll start off with some easy ones for you. How's that sound?
Perfect. Can they all be easy?
They're all pretty easy.
Yes.
They're all pretty easy, I promise. All right, so Brian, start off and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
I've always been a big fan of Halloween. So my mom's mom, her birthday was, my grandma, her birthday was on Halloween. So when my family got together when I was younger, Halloween was the big family event, not Christmas.
Okay.
So that kind of started me into the whole love of Halloween thing, and snowballed. Started working at haunts, volunteer haunts, when I was, right before high school. I kind of dropped out a little bit during high school because people didn't think it was cool enough. And then right after high school, I really started to get serious with it, and went professional probably around 2000.
Okay, wow.
Worked at a couple different haunts, and then finally settled here, my forever home at Night of Terror.
Forever home, not going anywhere else.
As long as he'll have me, I'm here.
So I guess that answers how. So what's the total number of years you've been at Night of Terror?
I'm going into my sixth season.
Sixth season. Okay.
Nice.
It's about as long as we've been going there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe a little longer. What is it? 2022, 2014? So 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Time flies. I
It
lose
does.
track.
It's crazy. Well, that answers my next question also. Is this the first haunt you have worked at? And apparently it wasn't, because you've went pro.
Yeah, it isn't. I worked at don't want to name drop, but I worked at a pretty big one in the city of Philadelphia.
Okay.
And then I worked at a more private one that really wouldn't be considered professional.
Okay.
And then just by luck, this fell into my lap, and it seemed to work out.
I love things that fall into my lap. So, again, that answers the next question. How long have you been haunting? So, basically, forever.
I'm sorry to ruin all your questions.
No, that's okay. It just makes
okay.
it adds more time for BSing, which is good for me. What year is this for Night of Terror?
This will be there's different portions of it. So it'll be the 27th year for the haunt.
Okay.
It'll be the 10th anniversary of the haunted paintball.
Okay.
And then the Christmas, the Night of Lights, it'll be the 7th year.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That long.
Wow. I keep
You have to
saying-
excuse me. I don't pay attention to anything Christmas, much like how you were raised.
Hey, if a paycheck wasn't involved, I wouldn't be there.
I get it. I totally get it.
This I would do for free. Christmas, ooh.
No. You're going to have to jack the pay up for me to do anything Christmas. What is your favorite attraction at Night of Terror?
Ooh, wow. That's a loaded question there.
I left the softballs at home.
I'm always gonna go hayride, no matter what. I'm sure you're the same way. I am riding on the wagon, loving the smell of diesel. It just puts me in the mood so much.
It does.
You know.
And I'm so torn. Go ahead.
No, I know hayrides classically or traditionally aren't as scary because it's more showy and they're set back from the hayride. Whereas in the house, the close proximity, it's a little bit more terrifying. But I definitely would go hayride above all.
Yeah, I always enjoy yours years after year. It's one of the longer ones. We didn't realize that till the last year, right? When we were like, wow, we've been on here a while. That's pretty cool. But I missed the pirate scene.
So I knew you were going to bring that up. Because I did hear you mention it before. Unfortunately, that is where the brand new big scene for 2022 is going.
I can see that.
The shanty, the pirate town that was there for about 12 to 15 years. Nobody knows exactly the number. It is officially gone and it is level ground there. I did, however, find a whole bunch of beads in the grass. I got them for you.
That works.
What does a haunt night look like for you? Like a night in the life of a GM.
Ooh, banging your head against a steel plate.
Yeah.
It's actually, I mean, in the beginning of the season, it's very, very nerve-wracking. Once we get a weekend or two in, things start to click. But the average night, I mean, I'm leaving my real job to be here by 5 o'clock, Ticket sales start at 6:30, so have to look out call outs and coverage and make sure every scene is covered, and it's a lot. There's a lot, making sure everyone arrives safely and on time, and it's just until the show opens. When the show opens, I actually take my big breath and I'm like, all right, let's start going now. Let's make sure everything's still clicking.
I gotcha. I think I'm losing your signal here. Oh, there we go. Got you back.
There you go.
All right. That sounds interesting. I mean, I can't imagine what you go through before that gate opens. I really can't.
That's a lot.
It is.
I mean, the love for it makes it a lot easier.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I gotcha. So how involved are you with the build team or creative team?
So most of the master plan comes from Ron.
Okay.
Ron, who owns the Night of Terror. He is the evil genius. Everything starts from him, and he puts an idea, and we kind of build off of that. And I am not hands-on at all when it comes to construction. Like when I was growing up, all I learned was how to hold the light and get yelled at. So I have great ideas, but I can't, we have a whole team of guys that, are really good with what they do,
Very cool.
A very small team, surprisingly, you know what I mean? Each person on the team is really good at what they do. Like the welder can't do anything but weld. The builder, very good at his carpentry, but I was surprised when I started here, as big as an operation is, how small the team is.
Wow.
And I think it works. I mean, I think because it's so small, not a lot of fights, you know what I mean? It's really like a family, all different walks of life.
Yeah.
It's the biggest motley crew you could ever see, but it really does. It really does work.
Yeah, that's cool. Before I started doing this, I always thought they had like a build team of like 40 people, but most haunts generally only have at most 10. Like 9,
We're
10,
half that.
11. Yeah, see?
Wow.
Yeah, I learned that when we were first started doing this.
Yes.
So we kind of covered this earlier. What brought you into the haunt game?
All right, so I'm a child in New Jersey, born and raised. Spent a lot of time on the Wildwood Boardwalk. Castle Dracula, I don't care how many times I went in it, it never got old to me.
Okay.
And it just literally, that I can equate everything I do today back to that.
Very cool. I was in there once, and sadly it was too young. I don't remember a whole hell of a lot, but I remember it being cool.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick break from the haunt scenes here. What's your favorite horror movie?
Oh, that's another loaded question. So somebody just asked me this weekend. I have two. I know you want me to pick one, but I have a story for the first one, and the second one's just flat out. So I'll go with the second one. First one, all time, I'm going to go Exorcist.
Okay.
You can't go wrong with a horror movie that was nominated for 11 Academy Awards. Academy Awards meant something back then.
Yeah.
Not so much now, but to have a horror film nominated for that many movies. And I remember seeing it when I was young, and then the rebirth when they put it back out, the version you've never seen in 2000. Definitely can watch it anytime. It's actually a tradition in my house, so my children hate it that we watch it on Easter Sunday.
I like it because
like
we just had a heated argument at dinner about Easter and how much I can't stand it.
But my number one, what really got me into horror, was the original Friday the 13th.
Okay.
So I know it's not a great movie by any standards, but my dad has two younger sisters. One is exactly 10 years older than me. So she was my cool aunt. She got her driver's license, when I was 6. She was 16, 17, and my other aunt was the rich one of the family. They were the first ones to get the VCR.
Ah.
So I remember going to the video store, and I remember this like it was yesterday. This was before Blockbuster, before West Coast, any of that.
Oh, wow.
We went to like Bill's video store. And we walk in, and there's all, it wasn't huge, one room, but my aunt's like, oh, we have to get only from this wall, which was Betamax. They didn't even have VHS. They only had Betamax. And I was like, oh. So we were limited. I didn't know any of the movies. I was 6 years old. I didn't know any of the movies. My aunt decided on Friday the 13th. I was scared to hell to watch it. I watched it. My aunt said I must have wore a hole in that tape. I watched it so many times in 24 hours. And this is when, you could keep movies longer. You didn't have it for 24. You had 3 days. And I just remember it like seeing Kevin Bacon when nobody knew who Kevin Bacon was, get an arrow shoved through his throat.
Yeah.
I was hooked. I knew it was fake, but it scared the hell out of me. And I fell in love with the art of it.
Yeah.
Not, you know what I mean? Like I always wanted to do makeup and get into that stuff. And I always had a real job and never could devote the time to it. And now that I'm 44, I definitely kick myself that I didn't get more into that stuff. But so Friday the 13th is my final answer. That was the movie I remember seeing first and probably ruined me, but this is where I am today, thanks to that movie.
I mean, I think that's where we all got started with this craziness was the video stores. Like you said, Dave or Tom's Video. My uncle lived in Brigantine, and they had one little thing on the island because Brigantine's low key and they don't like a lot of. I mean, they just got a Burger King when I turned like 15. But when I was 5, 6, or 7, I learned how to hook 2 VCRs up together to record, and then we tested it and it worked. So my uncle went and got me all the Nightmare on Elm Street so I could record all of them. So theft turned into my love for horror.
Nobody knew about piracy.
Nope. I could definitely say I was the first Napster. So go ahead, man.
What's your favorite horror franchise?
That's a tough one. A lot of the sequels are weak. That's the problem.
Yes.
Like, if I had to pick one, and you let me eliminate some of the movies, I'm gonna go Halloween.
Halloween does a good job. I mean, even the bad sequels, I would still watch.
Yeah.
Like, everyone tears on Resurrection. I didn't hate it. Like, I didn't love it. I definitely think it's the worst Halloween. But, I mean, between me, Busta Rhymes, and then Evil Dies Tonight 400 times, I'm taking Busta Rhymes. Because that drove me insane. And the other night, I was away, so I had it on my iPad. I'm like, all right, I'm going to give this one last time. Every single scene, there's a monologue. I'm like, what were you guys high when you wrote this movie?
Like, I mean, of course, I ran out to see it the night of, and then went home and watched it on Peacock 12 more times, hoping it would get better.
I know. Because, like, I had a love-hate with 2018. Like, I get why they did it. It was a good movie. I just think it would have been scarier if they stuck to the H2O, where she's not this crazy survivalist, and then he comes back just out of nowhere. Like, she's not expecting it. She's not waiting for it. She kind of forgot it until you see that clip. That's what I would have done. But her being ready for it made it less scary. But the acting was good. The story was cool. And then this movie came out. I was like, what in the hell were they doing? I'm like, this...
I find it hard to believe that the same people were even involved. Like,
right.
They're like night and day.
Right. I mean, like, I understand the four of them being pissed for 40 years. The rest of the town ain't going to give a shit. They didn't know these people.
Yeah.
So, and then just like, she goes on a monologue. The old cop goes on a monologue. The daughter goes on a monologue. I'm like, come on, guys. I'm done. So I finished that up, and I think that'll be the last time I watch that one. So, go for it.
And the poor Mr. Tivoli jumping to his suicide.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah. I hear you. It still just bothers the hell out of me. Favorite horror villain?
Wow. I'll go Leatherface on that one. Nothing scarier than a chainsaw.
I agree.
Yeah, she still runs from chainsaws. 200 haunts and still runs from chainsaws. It's hilarious.
That and Jason. Don't like it.
All right, and a real random question that we asked just for conversation starters, a little poll we're taking. Do you believe in ghosts?
I do not.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're at 50, we're betting 500.
Yeah.
That's so funny. All right, go for it.
So I work with a guy who is super religious, and I went to Catholic school for 13 years, and I know I should believe in something, but I have a hard time. I don't.
No, hey.
He prays for me every day, and I was like, "You're wasting your time, fella."
Don't spit on the microphone.
Oh my gosh. We just had this conversation.
I know. I know. All right, so we'll bring it back into the haunts because that's what we do here. What can fans expect from Night of Terror 2022?
Well, we're still in a lot of planning stage. Like, everything we're going to do upgrade-wise is here on the property, ready to be installed. A lot of reconfiguring of the Midway area. We have some things that are coming in for Christmas that are going to have to change the way we do things for Halloween.
Oh, I gotcha.
So, the food area where it's kind of right in the middle is going to be pushed back a little bit. Hayride line's always going to stay. Everything works around the hayride line, so the hayride line's going to stay the same. But just some different things up there. We had talked about it before. A lot of technological updates where on the surface, the customer may not notice, but in the long run, it's going to make our life a lot easier. A lot of upgrades behind the scenes, power, air, water, everything we need that we don't have to shut off and change in the off season, that we could just leave going. It's going to make life a lot easier.
Hey, whatever makes life easier is a hell of an upgrade, especially for running around like you guys do.
But the biggest thing, I guess, would be, since it is the 10th anniversary of paintball, he was kind of kicking around the idea of kind of letting paintball die off if business was bad. And every year, paintball just comes back like bigger last year than it ever was.
Wow.
And we can't believe it. So since it's the 10th anniversary, it's getting a complete overhaul. It's going to be bigger, better. Paintball's really getting the love this year.
It's fun.
Because, yeah.
It is a good time shooting people in the face. So we answered that one.
Yes.
So we don't need to do that. Where do you see Night of Terror in 10 years?
We just actually had a conversation about this. We definitely get a lot of repeat customers, and the business grows. It's a business. It's designed to make money, but I am probably the one who drags his feet the most on trying to expand. I want to make sure that we have the right personnel in every spot that we need. before we get too big. I don't want to blow up and get completely ridiculously crowded to the point where your negative reviews outweigh your positive reviews. I'm happy with where, you know what I mean? Because I have to be up on the reviews, and I have to, personally address a negative review and, be held accountable for it and fix it or change it or find out what went wrong. And, I'm nervous to answer this one because I don't think that we finished our conversation on this yet.
Okay.
Of course, everyone wants to grow and expand, and absolutely. But I want to do it at the right pace. Mm-hmm. I definitely think Ron is, not to kiss his butt right now, but I definitely think he is one of the better people I've ever worked for, where he really does take your input and really, apply it and listen to it good. I feel very valued working for this man, which, makes it easy to come to work.
Yeah, I understand value. No, that's awesome. I mean, like I said, we've never had a bad year at your place, and we go every year because it's 10 minutes away, and it's awesome. So we have fun there every year.
You guys are that close? I didn't know.
Yeah.
We live in Clayton.
Oh, okay.
So it's like right over there.
Yeah, we're close.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in starting your own haunt?
Oof, I don't have the money.
Exactly. If you won the lottery.
So we when we went to Transworld, we went out to St. Louis for the big Halloween show. You know what I mean? I met a lot of people I actually met one gentleman from New Jersey, and he was telling us how I was like, oh, do you own a haunt? No, I'm getting into it. I was like, do you own a home haunt, anything? And he's like, nope, you're starting from the ground up. I have a piece of property in Long Island. And I was like, oh, okay. So what's your intentions on parking your customers? Like, what's your idea for parking? And like blank stare. And I was like, everybody wants to get into the business and scare people, but there's so much involved logistically that gets overlooked. And, I mean, today's day and age, anywhere near a major city,
it's tough.
You're gonna need $5 million. You're gonna need $5 million to even, scratch the surface.
That's the figure I always came up with, right?
Yes.
5 mil. Yep.
Yeah.
See, I was right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, people don't understand that, like, when you're up against people like you guys, like Bates, like Field, who have had 30 years from growing from cardboard cutouts to what they are now, they're the lucky ones. Anyone new to this game is risking a hell of a lot of money.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Today's day and age, I would, talk to me 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, I'm all in. Now, it's not worth the risk.
No. If it was like passive income on like an investment type thing, it might be worth looking into if you find the right people, of course.
Yeah.
But the guy in Long Island, once they see what he's trying to do with parking, they're going to shut him down. Long Island's tough.
Yeah.
I
didn't want to discourage him. He had the greatest attitude ever. He couldn't wait. And I was, in my head, I'm like, oh, this poor fella.
Yeah, I wish him the best. I mean, I hope you're out there, bro. Make it happen, but it's going to be rough.
Mm-hmm. We talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about that one. So we know it's tough to visit other haunts as a haunt manager or director, but if possible, do you have a particularly favorite haunt outside of Night of Terror?
So it's actually really easy for me to visit because we're never open on a Sunday.
Oh, okay.
And everybody is.
Very good.
So we make the rounds pretty regularly.
Okay, cool.
Are you putting me on the spot? Do I have to choose one?
You don't have to if you don't want to.
I personally, I'm gonna go with Reaper's Revenge. Scranton.
Yeah, that's a hell of a show.
They do. I was actually, I mean, it was really, we went 2 years ago. That was the first time I was ever there. And then we went again. No, I'm sorry. 3 years ago, right before the pandemic, I went for the first time ever. And it was amazing. And then, the pandemic hit. We really didn't visit too many places. And then we just went to Reapers again this past season. And there were some subtle changes to the hayride. And I think not for the better.
Okay.
There was a few changes to the hayride that were, I was really looking for. We talked it up. We sold it. We brought a lot of people with us. I'm like, wait, do you see this? Almost ruining it for everybody. And then when we got there, I'm like, oh, that scene's gone. What? Like, what? I didn't know,
Yeah, I don't know if it was changes they made or if, as you know, it was extremely hard to hire people that year. I don't know which one it was. But I got the same feeling all year with that. Like, certain things felt off, but I couldn't. We were in the middle of a hiring and the end of a pandemic. I mean, no one could keep workers because everyone's making so much money now doing other shit. But I mean, Reapers brought us out to their media night in 2019, the year before the pandemic. And they took us through everything during the day. And it was funny because I kept pestering them, asking them, like, industry questions. I'm like, how the hell did you get power up here? Like, all the media's like, so, how do you make the zombie? I'm like, I know how they make the zombie. How'd you get power on this hill? And I kept asking him. He thought it was hilarious. But, yeah, I mean, it's a different thing up there. It's very creative. I wish I didn't wait this long to go because, just like you, 2019 was my first year going.
Yeah.
I mean, the one guy, a friend of mine, Grin, kept yelling at me. He's like, you just got to go to Reapers. I'm like, I know, but we're trying to do this. He's like, shut up. Go to Reapers.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Everybody's opinion that I respect in the industry told me, like, you got to get up there. You got to get up there.
Yep.
And when I went, I was like, wow, it is a good show.
Yeah.
It is awesome.
Pitch Black is one of the first blackout mazes that really freaked me the hell out. And that's hard to do, is freak me out. You have a hard time in there.
Off, take your earrings out. Like.
Yep. That's crazy. So, let's get into this mini-con a little bit. We have partners.
Yes.
So, are you excited about the partnership with our buddies at Horror 365 and the Friday the 13th Minicon? Can you tell us a little bit about the piece you guys will play with that brand new convention?
So it was an idea. We were always looking for different ideas for advertising, and I, being a fan, I was going no matter what. And when the sponsorship programs came out, I looked at what came, and I took it to him, and I said, it's new, it's an upstart, it's small, it's within our state. It might be, a sponsorship program might be good advertising up in that area where normally we don't, draw that much. I'm looking to go party for the weekend. Blairstown is it's amazing. Like, yeah, especially on a Friday the 13th. Back in the day, they were almost embarrassed that the movie was filmed there, and then once they figured out, the tourists come and money is to be made. I just love how, the whole. It's almost like going to Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania for Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Going to Blairstown for Friday the 13th is just amazing.
Yep.
Everybody's into it.
Yeah, I mean, it started as a mini-con, but I was telling Jimmy J the other day, I'm like, just call it a convention, dude. You got enough guests. Like, I can't believe how many people they got out there. And I don't think they might be done now. But it was just
no, every time I turn around, he's adding somebody else.
I know! And I'm like...
I think they're done because the official poster came out.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, we're not going to be able to make it because we'll be coming home from our honeymoon. And heading up to Brighton for their one night open before the
One night
season
only,
starts.
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean it's going to be tight. Plus, I don't really want to bother those guys in the middle of running around just for like a 10-minute. How you guys doing? But yeah,
But if we have time, I'd like to go stop and see it.
yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But
On
I'm so
Saturday.
excited for them. The graphics look great. You guys being attached is outstanding. They've been working their asses off. I talk to them like every day.
I just saw them. So Atlantic City, we were in Atlantic City this weekend for New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
And I caught up with them down there.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Have you ever done the Monster Mania as Night of Terror or no?
Oh, they did it before I was on board, so
Okay.
they haven't done it probably in 10 years. But yes, they have done it before.
Yeah, I mean, I just know that it's more local, a little bigger than the NJ. But the NJ HorrorCon's growing too, because it was a lot smaller than it is now, and now it's huge. Now it's a good time. And that brings us to our next question. Do you plan to branch out to other conventions in the area?
I mean, I'm all about the convention circuit. I definitely, go to as many as I can in the area. Not really sure if that's going to be the new advertising route. I know it's fairly cheap compared to the other advertising we do. Billboards, like you could do every convention in a year and still not pay what you pay for a billboard.
I mean, even shit, Facebook's getting expensive to advertise on.
Yes. I would like to probably, venture that way. The problem is when you're a haunt and you're at a convention, other than hawking what you are and being a local place, a lot of people already know about you.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard if you don't have a product to sell or promote right then and there. That's why I'm all about the free tickets, the free app. Nothing draws people in like telling them, one of the things we're going to do in Blairstown is we have the complete Friday the 13th trivia box, like Trivial Pursuit cards. It's only Friday the 13th.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just going to pull random cards, and they're hard. I mean, I'm a fan, and they're hard.
Oh,
If you can give me
man.
the answer to the question, here's your VIP passes. Enjoy October.
That's awesome.
That's fun.
That is fun. We're going to have to try and go.
That's what I said. It's only an hour between Brighton.
Get it on the way home. Oh, it's the opposite way though.
Yeah,
Yeah, it would be on the way up.
You would have to go west.
Yeah.
We'd have to hit it on the way up.
We'll figure something out.
We come back from Vegas on Friday. We'll be fine.
Yeah, that's true. We do. Very cool. You got any further questions, Your Honor?
I do not.
Okay. Well, I'm going to wrap this up, but I'm going to have you stay because I have one more quick recording to do on something I'm working on. I'll tell you about that before I press record.
All right.
But I'm just going to wrap this up. Do you have anything you want to say about Night of Terror? Give out your Instagrams, your TikToks.
I want to ask you what your favorite horror movie is.
That's hard. Because it varies. But if I have to pick one, hands down, it's Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
That's the one I can constantly watch. But, surprisingly, The Conjuring is kind of creeping up there for me.
I like that.
Because we just did the whole Conjuring universe for the podcast. And just rewatching the original Conjuring, it's such a perfect movie that it takes, from all the horror movies, but has its own thing. So, I think Nightmare will always be, because it's where I started. It's my whole collection that you'll be able to see once I put out the video. But others creep in there. I loved Insidious to the point where if Nightmare didn't exist, that could be probably my favorite. Just because it was so different. Jason 6, Friday the 13th, Part 6.
Absolutely.
That's the perfect Jason movie. The kids are at camp. The counselors are good actors. The plot was cool. How Jason came alive was cool. Jason running around like that in 6 was the best. That's what I wanted all of them to be.
so many references in that movie to Frankenstein.
Yep.
Like, you could tell Tommy McDonald, he was definitely a Frankenstein fan.
Yep. It was
just. I think anyone you ask, like a super fan, is like, "What do you think about Part 6?" Everyone's like, "Oh, absolutely."
Oh yeah, yeah. I have a hard time watching them because this one has a fear of Friday the 13th from something that happened when she was younger. Do you want to tell that story? Well, you might as well tell it. I mean,
I had this friend, and he used to. We watched a marathon of them, and then he dressed up as Jason, and he tortured me. He used to come to the window. My parents lived on 10 acres. So you happen to look out the window or walk past the window, he was standing there. He'd call and make the noise. He somehow got into my closet right before I was ready to go to sleep, and I shut off the light to go to sleep, and he came out of the closet onto the bed.
So you're scarred.
Yes, big time.
Our funniest haunt moment was in Brighton Asylum during Night of the Creeps. Well, what was Night of the Creeps? They used to retheme every room for horror movies. Like, you would walk in, there'd be Freddy, there'd be Saw, Texas. There was even a hell of a Captain Spaulding. Oh, yeah. But you turn a corner and you hear this old lady going, "They were busy having sex," so I knew who was coming. This one, there he is, a giant. This dude must have been like Ken Kissinger size.
Regardless,
like from
there was
Freddy
a little
vs. Jason.
bridge, and he said there was a cabin there and a boat, and I only saw the boat. I never saw the cabin. I didn't even know there was a cabin there.
Well, I stopped her from getting off the bridge. So he reached in, he grabbed her and started pulling her over the bridge. So this one starts screaming and basically falls to her knees in the next room while I'm laughing hysterically. That was so funny. That was our best haunt experience.
I think he might be still deaf.
Yeah, I think he's still deaf.
From me screaming.
I think he's still deaf. Yeah.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah. Yeah, if it's old school horror, I love it. I love the 80s. I love Scream. The first... I like 1, 2, and 4.
Discussion about that too, yeah. Like Scream, this past Scream that just came out, I guess they're calling it Scream 5. On the way back from Georgia, right when the pandemic started, went down to Georgia stayed at the camp, where Part 6 was filmed.
Okay.
Stayed overnight for the weekend. It was great. On the way back, we hit North Carolina, and they were filming Scream 5.
Oh, okay.
So called a friend of a friend and actually got to visit the set.
Oh, that's cool.
First time I've ever done anything like that. Please put your cell phone in the locker, sign this all this stuff. Didn't really see anybody super famous, you know what I mean? They were filming, I don't know if you remember in Scream 5, there's like a 2-minute scene where they're inside of a bar before they go outside, and that is what we saw them filming, basically. 8 hours of something that made the movie for a minute and a half.
Yeah, because that wasn't long, because they were kicked out after fighting that kid, yeah.
But just being there and just hearing them yell action out loud.
That's like so cool.
One of the greatest things. I couldn't wait till the movie came out because I was like, I can't wait to see what actually made the movie. And then it came on and I was like, that's it? Like, the magic of movies.
Yeah. That's awesome. I want to go on set.
That'd be fun.
It would be fun. It would be fun. So, do you got any other questions you want to fire our way, or do you want to plug Night of Terror?
Night of Terror, always, Facebook, Instagram. We actually have 2 Facebooks. One, Night of Terror NJ, and then Creamy Acres Night of Terror. Instagram is attached to all of them. And the website, on our website right now, we're currently hosting a banner page for the Friday the 13th Minicon.
Very cool.
Links and all that.
Yeah, I constantly check the websites for, videos I could find and, prop other haunts up. But when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's really cool. When do you guys think you're going to release your calendar?
We just worked on it this weekend. I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble for this.
You don't have to say it. It's okay. We could talk after.
I'll go with it. Opening night, one night only, Saturday, September 24th.
Okay.
All right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just, you guys have a lot of scheduling to do. We have a shit ton of scheduling to do.
Yeah.
Like, between kids and work and trying to... But luckily the kids are getting older. They can be left alone now, so now I can attack even more.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to wrap this up. Hang on the line because I'm going to bother you with another question for something else we're working on.
I have one for you, too, for off the air.
Okay, we'll do it. I'll let you know when we're done. Well, this has been Halloween Haunts, 365.com, the podcast. Our interview with Brian from Night of Terror. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
It was our pleasure. Trust me. Sorry for it taking so long to work around. Interviews are tough to get a hold of people. And definitely let me know about the August show that I'm working on to drive my wife crazy, where I fill the house full of haunt people. But that's all I got for you today at Halloween Haunts, 365.com, the podcast, where every day is haunt season. Goodbye.
Bye.